Hello everyone. Today my talk is Breaking Bad Habits with GitLab CI. My name is Nemytchenko, and I'm Russian. I'm here. I came here from Serbia, and I'm a Ruby developer since 2006. I used to be a co-founder of 2 outsourcing agencies. I used to play many different roles there, like a team leader, project manager, etc. I co-organized 2 IT conferences in Russia, and today I'm a developer advocate at GitLab. And this is my personal website, and this is my Twitter handle. You might also know me as an author of this website, railshard.com. I spent some time learning how to manage complexity in Rails applications. So this is the reason why I created this website, and I also gave a couple of talks on this topic and even started writing a book on this one. But my today talk is not is about GitLab. And why talking about GitLab at Ruby conference? First of all, it's a big monolithic Ruby on Rails application, and it's there for already 5 years. So it has pretty big code base, and it is open source. And it means that you as a Ruby developer can learn a lot on how to organize your code. And the way the code is organized allows the team to release GitLab every month on 22nd of every month. Moreover, GitLab has open processes so that you can learn not only how the code is organized, but how the whole company is organized. The whole company is remote. It has 140 people, and more than 100,000 companies use GitLab. And GitLab.com is completely free, so you can host there like any public or private repository. And just a quick reminder that GitLab has started more than 5 years ago as an attempt to build an open source alternative to GitHub. But today, the purpose is more ambitious. It's not there just to let you host your source code, but more like host the whole software development lifecycle. So it has like things that you expect to be there, like source code hosting, code reviews, and like project planning tools, but also things like Docker images hosting and continuous integration are also a part of GitLab. So switching to the topic of my talk, Breaking Bad with GitLab. This was the initial talk of the initial title of my talk, and my intention was to tell you about some fun and unconventional ways to use GitLab CI. But then I realized that it would be unfair to those who are not familiar with GitLab CI, and I decided to rename my talk into this. And I decided to make it more practical because as a developer advocate, I travel a lot and speak to a lot of developers, and I realized that a lot of developers have this habit of not automating routine operations. So they are developers, but they are not lazy enough. So they, on a daily basis, keep doing like a lot of operations like deployment and test and running tests by hand. And I realized that even I myself had the same habit even when I joined GitLab. It took me a couple of months to finally learn how to use GitLab CI for my personal projects. And after a couple of time, I realized that I had these 4 fears that prevented me to build that habit. And the first fear, and probably those fears came from the fact that in my personal, in the previous part of my career, I've seen a screenshot of Jenkins maybe. So at the beginning it sounded like I had to spend maybe a half of the day installing the new CI tool. Then probably I had to spend another half of the day to integrate CI tool with the rest of the tools. Then I had to convince all of my colleagues to register in new CI tool and to set up permissions. And then finally I had to learn how to use CI, how to configure it so that it will run what I need it to run. And now let's take a look how it applies to GitLab CI. And CI became a part of GitLab like a year ago. And if we talk about installation, if you have GitLab installed, you have CI installed already. So there is no reason to care about integration. It's already integrated. And there is no problems with the registration. The same users you have in GitLab, the same are for CI. And it looks like there is only one thing left, is learning how to use GitLab CI. And in the rest of my talk, I will tell you a story, and you will see, you will learn the basics, and you'll see how simple and powerful it is. And I hope it will make you, it will enable your laziness even more and will make you even more productive. So the story starts with where you get a new job in a company called CatGrab Sophisticated Technologies Incorporated. And this company has a software product. And this software product consists of two files, file 1 and file 2. And the code is hosted on gitlab.com. And there is one super strict business requirement. The concatenation results of these two files should contain hello world. If it's not there, then the whole software development team stays without a salary for a month. So it's super strict. So you came and you decided to write a simple script to test this condition, and you've got a bonus. And everyone in your team agreed to execute the script in order to prevent problems before pushing code to GitLab. But still the whole situation didn't make you feel safe, so you decided to automate even more and to utilize CI, to utilize GitLab CI, actually to delegate this stuff to GitLab CI. So let's take a look how to do it. First of all, you need to create a file called gitlab.ci.yaml in your repository and put instructions there. And this is how the simplest instruction looks like. So test here is the name of the job, and then you use a keyword script and just put your script there. And after you push this configuration to GitLab, GitLab detects it and executes the job for you. So you see the results, and the build succeeds or fails depending on your files. The next requirement, well, you realize that you can also, well, you had to package your code before sending it to customer, and you realize that you can do it with GitLab CI as well. So you already know how to create jobs for CI, so you create another one. You name it package, you put another script there, and this script generates package.gz, and after you push it, you will see two tabs. You can switch between them, but you need to make the results of this job downloadable. And to do so, you use another keyword called artifacts, and you specify the list of paths there, and GitLab will make them for you downloadable. So the full configuration now looks like this, and there's a problem though. Like with this configuration, your jobs will be executed in parallel, and it means even if test will fail, the package will be still generated. So we need to learn how to execute jobs sequentially. And the way it works, you had to specify order of your stages. using stages keyword, and you specify a stage per every job, and it will do the job for you. So the problem you might have is that at some point your builds might become slow, and let's try to see how to solve these problems. So in this configuration we have a duplication, and in a here concatenation will be executed almost immediately, but in real life you might have a compilation process here, and it might take a long time, and you don't want it to be executed more than one time. So you can just create another job and put it there, and use the same word artifacts to pass the artifacts between stages. Another problem you might have is that not actually a problem, but a strange thing is that GitLab uses Ruby 2.1 image here, but we never asked it for Ruby actually. And since GitLab uses Ruby 2.1 Docker image, it takes time to actually boot it up. But we have never asked for Ruby yet. So in order to make it run faster, we need to choose what Docker image to use. And there is one very compact Docker image. It's called Alpine. And with this simple change, we just specify the name of the image, and you can specify any public Docker image you want, or even create your own and host it on GitLab and specify it here. And with this simple change, we are able to drop the time from 3.5 minutes to 35 seconds. So, and the next requirement, one of the customers asks for ISO image instead of XIF. And we could, of course, create another job and execute it in sequence, but let's try to make it in parallel. So here's the script we need to execute. First, we need to install a package which contains required executable, and then we execute it and generate ISO image. And here's how configuration looks like. The important thing here is that we create one more stage, and we rename our existing job into peg GZ, and we create another job peg ISO. And they have the same package name, and it means that they will be executed in parallel. So our pipeline now looks like this. So our code changes go to compile stage, then go to test, then go to package stage, which contains two jobs. And all the results go to artifacts. So we've just learned all these things. And the next requirement, someone in the business realized that we can just create a website, and instead of sending our packages manually to our customers, we can just publish them on a website. And you decided to use S3 for that purpose, and you can copy your files to S3 using this command. And with this, and when you do it separately, the situation looks like this. You have a S3 bucket and you have GitLab, and those are separate commands. Like git push goes with git push, the code goes to GitLab, and with this command it goes to Amazon. But we want it to look like this. So we want to push our code to GitLab so that it will run all the tests, all the packages, and generate all the packages, and finally publish a website on S3. So we're about to create our first automated deployment, and AWS GLI can be installed using pip, and pip goes together with Python. And it means we can use Python, Docker image with Python, and the configuration looks pretty simple. We use Python image, we define another stage, call it deploy, and we just put our script there. But there is one detail. We also need to provide these environment variables, and we can do it like this. We can just specify variables section in our configuration, but it's not a good idea to keep them like this, we need to keep them secret. And there is, of course, a place in GitLab called, it's a variable section in settings. And you just specify all the secrets key there, and GitLab will turn them into environment variables during the execution. So configuration is still compact and simple, and we push it, and GitLab runs everything for us, and it works. Now the time passes, and you have 2 developers on the project, and it's no longer convenient to develop everything in master, so that you start to using feature branches, and it means, but the problem is that our CI configuration doesn't know anything about branches, and it will push everything to S3. To fix that, we use the keyword only, and if we specify a branch, so that this job will be executed only when we push changes to master branch. So this is how our situation now looks like. So developers pushing their changes to different branches, but only changes which go to master gets published on Amazon S3. Then you've got even more developers, and they started to ask for a place where they could test and play with their changes before actually merge and publish them on S3. And of course, you can create another S3 bucket or use any other way of hosting static website. But there is another built-in tool into GitLab. There is another tool built into a GitLab. It's called GitLab Pages, and you can host website using it. And there are 3 rules you need to satisfy to use it. You should name your job pages. You should put all your static files into public folder, and you should specify artifact section with this public folder in your GitLab CI configuration. And it will be hosted on the URL like this. And you can even specify your custom URL and provide your SSL certificate. And yeah, on GitLab.com it's also for free. So let's take a look at the configuration for this temporary place to test our code. What is important here? So the stage is the same. Again, image is Alpine, it's compact one, and the script is very simple. We just create public folder and copy everything there. We specify this public folder in the artifact section, and we use another keyword, except, so that everything which is not master will be published there. And here's the full configuration, and here's the full picture. So you see it. Changes which go to master go to S3, everything else goes to GitLab Pages. And I bet that most of you would call this S3 theme a production environment and GitLab Pages a staging environment. And the trick is that GitLab has support for these keywords as well. You can specify environment for jobs which deploy your code to some places. And with this simple change, GitLab will start to track your deployments. You will get this page where you will see the list of your environments. You will see what is deployed on every environment. And you can click on every environment, and you will see the history of environments, and you can even redeploy or roll back your deployment. So here's the picture. It's almost the same, but now we have these labels, and we have the history of our deployments. And the last requirement from the business, because now you have even more developers on the project because of the successfulness of the project. Business, and you hired like some juniors, and they had some merge problems, and they pushed some unresolved conflicts to master, and business gently asked us not to mess up with production. And this can be changed with one simple change. Like, we can disable automatic deployment with this keyword. when and the value manual. And after this change, the status of this job will be skipped, and you will get this play button in the interface, so that only after someone clicks on it, it will be deployed. So now you've just beaten this final tier, and it means that now you can go and play with GitLab CI and start using it not only on the big projects, but on the smaller ones, because it's really simple and powerful. And initially I was thinking that since it's a Ruby conference, maybe I should adopt my examples to utilize Ruby. But then I realized that there's no, that even in Ruby community we have different frameworks, different like testing frameworks, different deployment tools. And I wanted to keep this thing technology agnostic, because it's important to understand the principle, and when you understand the principle, you will be able to apply this thing like to anything, to any framework, to any language, to anything actually, which can be executed using command line. That's almost it for me. GitLab has a booth there. It's very easy to find it. It's a booth with almost no decorations. We have this Git cheat sheets there. Those are super useful. We also have the stickers. And if you have colleagues which are curious about GitLab CI, you can send them this link. And this is a schema I wrote so that you can find our booth. I will be happy to answer your questions right now or like later at the booth. Thank you. Can you give the mic? Okay, I will repeat it.
So my question is, you showed that there was a Docker image that gets pulled from the Docker hub. Is the configuration, like, could you configure which Docker hub to, which Docker image to pick up based on like some conditions? Can you configure that?
Yeah, sure. So the question is, what Docker image can I use and how to specify custom Docker image, right?
As it, can you have like, based on certain conditions, can I pick one Docker image over the other?
Yeah, this should be also doable. Like, first of all, here's how you specify Docker images. And you can use any public Docker image here. You can like create your own image as well, even private one, host it on GitLab, and use it here. And the way you can make it conditional, first of all, you can specify Docker image per job. So if you have many jobs in one configuration, you can specify them per job. And if you need some very tricky condition, you can use it. You can utilize variables. That's the way.
I have one more question related to. I saw somewhere that the job was running on DigitalOcean in your logs.
Okay, maybe.
So, do we have to provide our own machines or our own VMs for the CI jobs to run when you're running it on GitLab?
Okay. So the question is, where are those jobs are executed, and should we provide our own machine to execute those jobs or not? So at the beginning of the talk, I mentioned that we assume that the code is already hosted on GitLab.com, and right now on GitLab.com we have shared runners, and those are provided for free. That probably won't be forever, but for now, if you host the code on GitLab.com, you will get the CI runners for free as well. And if you have your own installation of GitLab, it's your job to provide runners. So the way it works, the GitLab Runner is a program written in Go, and you can execute it on any machine, even on Windows or Mac OS. Now I have it executed, installed on my laptop. So you can have a machine on DigitalOcean, you execute it, execute runner there, you connect it to GitLab instance, and then it will be like every time you have something to build, the build will be executed on this machine. That's how it works.
That's great. Thank you, Ivan, for your time. And if you have any more questions, please come to Ivan after this section. And let's welcome our next speaker.